I was really afraid that there was going to be like a big clown, like.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't follow the modern rules of horror movie making.
So since this movie came out, there's been a
scares.
real spiral of red balloon sales.
Spiral?
Yeah,
Like,
going down.
down.
Nobody wants them.
Nobody wants red balloon.
You know, it
There's
makes
a
me
huge
sad.
surplus now of red balloons out there.
And then Nina can't sing about anything.
Who's the TV stocks guy? Jim Cramer. He's like, buy, sell
Listen,
red
everybody,
balloons.
you're going to want to sell your balloon stocks.
Red balloons.
Trust me, I'm an expert on the subject.
Yeah.
Buy blue.
Blue balloons.
Buy blue, sell red.
A blue wave is coming.
It's a blue market, not a red market.
A balloon wave.
It's a blue market.
That's what you call the speed of light.
This is
and never mind, physics jokes aren't my forte.
All right, let's get to it.
Spark of Madness. So I'm Matt. That's Aaron.
Hello.
I was telling somebody at work they had just heard about that we had a podcast. We just started with a Jim Cramer balloons reference. I really hope they end up watching.
Just the
balloon
best
thing.
TV there is.
So we did. We had a Jim Henson kick the past 2 weeks. Last week we did Dark Crystal.
Lots of fun.
This week we pivoted finally back. It's been a long time since we did a new movie that came out this year.
Because they've been sucking.
But we're doing.
Because they've all been comic book movies.
We are doing
Yeah.
It Chapter 2, which 2 years ago.
It was one of our first shows.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yes, it was.
We weren't doing ratings back then, but correct me if I'm wrong. We all loved the first one, right?
We all thought it was pretty good, it seemed.
We thought it was enjoyable.
Yes.
It was good.
Like cornflakes.
Yeah, agreed.
We don't-
Frosted cornflakes.
We won't do.
Absolutely.
This is a whole spoiler
They're
show.
great.
This is a whole spoiler show.
You're going to learn everything.
Yeah, at the very end, we'll give our rating for the movie if you haven't seen it yet. We don't have a synopsis, right?
No.
I mean, we let's just let it unfold naturally. I mean, it's
Okay.
Yeah.
okay. To be honest, this movie didn't have a lot of plot.
Yeah.
It was pretty much the other movie. Just people were a little bit older.
Yeah.
Let's just get that out of the way.
Pretty much that.
This is the longest plotless movie I've seen in a long time.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say it was plotless.
Yes,
it
it
was just
was.
the same. It was just the same plot.
No, it was plotless.
No. Listen. This movie
There was no
followed the
beginning
Star Wars
or
method.
middle or
no,
end.
there was. Let's give it credit where it's
There
due.
was an end.
But this
And a
movie
beginning.
followed the George Lucas model. It's like a poem. Everything rhymes. Get it?
Saying goodbye.
Shaking my head.
Why are you shaking your head?
Explain.
Everything that happens in this movie is an echo of what happened in the last movie.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
They even used the word echo in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
and they also just reused a lot of footage too.
No,
But
there was. I did.
you didn't.
I think the reused elements were like slightly different variations.
Well, it seemed like there were a couple reused, but then they also shot just a ton of footage,
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty impressive. I wasn't expecting that.
Apparently, I guess they digitized their faces
To make them look less old.
to look less old.
Because Finn Wolfhard
Yeah,
got like 2 feet taller.
I just assumed they just knew they were shooting. They just shot a
I
lot
would've
of
done that.
scenes
I
in
didn't.
chap-
I
for
didn't
chapter
notice
2.
at all. I guess they pitched their voices higher too. I guess I didn't notice it because I didn't watch the old one right after before. But I guess people who watched the original one,
There was
watched
something
this one.
off.
Are you serious?
No,
I was about to
no,
say
no.
one of the most impressive things was that they knew in advance to shoot scenes.
That's
with
what I
kids.
would have done.
I guess that's impressive that I, didn't notice.
I mean, they did it on Superman 2. You know, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, especially with that cellophane S.
No. Those were reshoots. That's a whole another story.
The Donner cut is not the official version of the movie, so get over it. The Donner cut is pretty good, though.
It's great.
So this is almost 3 hours of It
Nothing.
sequel of
It's not nothing.
It sequel. Why do you
What
say
is it?
Why do you say it was nothing?
No, it is something,
It's. I mean, he's not far off.
but it's nothing. That's what the it thing is. It's something, but it's nothing. But it.
Interesting little parallel you're drawing there.
I don't know. It's something. It was a lot of work.
10 out of 10. Would watch again. Now listen, this movie.
I'll buy that for $1.
Here, let me try to explain what I'm getting at. This movie is it goes through the motions too much. Know what I mean? The very beginning starts off very promising, and then when they get into Act 2, it goes into checklist mode.
Yeah.
Act 2 was really where it felt. I actually.
So can I talk about the very beginning?
Yeah, let's start at the beginning because I think we'll go through exactly what you're talking about.
It's
Aaron,
a cool setup at the beginning, but when was this book written?
1985.
Perhaps in '85. There'd be a lot of homophobes, like that would actually beat up a gay person, but it didn't work for me now, for some reason.
It's not as prevalent now.
No, it wouldn't work, especially because Derry is a small town, but it's a big small town. You know what I mean? It's not a podunk town. That didn't work for me, but the setup of him in the water was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
That scene does have an ulterior thing that can work for it. It's to show that Pennywise will eat adults too.
Yeah.
And maybe to set up the thing with Richie.
Yeah, I think it served a couple purposes. It set up the Richie thing. It also somehow brought in the bullying thing that also this was something I didn't think needed to be done, but it played through the kids' memories and stuff of being bullied and all these. And
sure.
For some reason, Bowers was still in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
We'll
at
get
all.
I
to
thought he
that.
broke his neck.
We'll get to
In the
that.
last
But yeah,
one.
anyway,
The one thing
I didn't mind the start. I actually really liked the start. I
It
felt
was
like it
okay.
jolted me away. I kept thinking though that I should like this kid that just got eaten, the man that just got eaten, was one of our kids, and maybe that's just how quickly I forgot them all.
Our kids
but-
didn't lisp that much.
Yeah.
But listen,
So the beginning, there's a bunch of bullies that beat up the guy. And for the audience who haven't seen it, spoiler alert from here on out.
Yeah.
The beginning,
Random characters though.
Yeah, this guy goes back to his town. And he's with his
that is directly from the book, though.
boyfriend
At a carnival.
at a carnival
Yeah.
festival in Derry, and these homophobes attack him on a bridge.
It also kind of sets up Derry a little bit again too.
But
if you
not
haven't seen
well
the movie.
enough.
But no, exactly.
Here-
But
look, here's my thought.
Do you think Derry's a little lactose?
Yeah, it's a little bit intolerant.
that was so good.
Now,
Boom.
here's my
Yes,
problem with that
and.
scene. It doesn't. I need to get to my point. That scene doesn't do the scene. They have a similar scene in the first movie where Bowers and his buddies are attacking Ben, and they show you that they're slowly getting more unhinged in their attack on him because Pennywise is influencing them. You know, making them crazy.
Oh, that's right. You're totally right.
The whole
right,
thing
'cause
about
he-
Pennywise
'cause
is
he
he's
has-
influencing people, and that
That's
scene
right.
doesn't really show it very well.
I guess that makes sense why Bowers is
It
his
makes
little,
sense,
like,
but they should have shown.
that's why Bowers is his like little lackey because he influences bullies probably more.
Yeah. He needs people like Bowers to help him
I
out.
totally forgot about that from
That was very
Yeah.
important, and I
What's
can't believe they
Bowers'
left
first
it out.
name? Eddie?
Henry.
Eddie.
Is this a joke? I don't get it.
It was
Okay, well,
Wasn't
I'll just
good.
I'll just bow out of that one.
lactose.
What did you guys? What did you guys think of just generally the casting of all the adults?
Very good.
I thought it was great. So I thought it was perfect.
It did feel like this is a lot of hot people. Like that was my very first thought.
That's what
It's
the
like,
book says.
Holy crap!
That's true, but I had to say, is it Benny the fat kid?
Yeah.
Yes.
Naturally, but Benny the fat kid when he was adult. Like he looks totally different.
Yeah.
But they got his eyes.
They did. He actually did kinda look like
the
it.
eyes.
Yeah.
Like, it was perfect.
Everybody looked
Very
like
good
adult
casting.
versions of themselves. I was
Very good
impressed.
casting.
I thought the guy they got for Stan and Eddie were perfect
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
the Eddie actor's really good.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody's pretty spot on, I'd say.
Yeah. I agree.
It's
Good.
I don't know. You move on. Maybe my point will congeal.
I thought one of the better things that I wish would have played through was that Bev had kind of a abusive husband.
Yeah,
given
they
her
really
dad.
ignored their
They
backstories
really
as
just
adults.
kind of like let that go even after setting it up at the start.
Even the miniseries from 1991 expounded more on that.
yeah,
So
I thought that was like a really good scene at the start, and then they
Yeah.
never brought
They-
it back.
and
And
they
you have
ignore-
Jessica Chastain. What are you doing?
and they ignore Bill's like his wife, who plays like a major role in the book.
Oh,
He's like-
yeah.
they put her in for no reason. They could have just left her out.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
they
you're
wasted
100%
time
right.
on that.
There's no reason for her to be in it.
Unless they would have had it actually play through like the book does, where it's important. But
Yeah.
I digress.
Well, tell us about what happens in the book compared to the.
Well,
to
in the book,
movie.
Pennywise lures her into the town to use as bait for Bill, and it's also like
Bill's which one again?
the stuttering kid.
James McAvoy. in
James
this.
McAvoy.
Yeah.
And it's also used to like strain his like, because he's got a crush on Bev the whole time through his whole life, and it also strains his relationship with his wife. And then he comes to terms with I love my wife, but it's not a huge thing. They should have just cut her out of this movie.
Again, for a 3-hour movie, you would think there's plenty of time to do all this stuff.
I think that's where they failed.
They were far more
They
concerned with getting Richie to barf into the camera
They
multiple
set up all
times.
this like love triangle thing, and they never really do anything.
Where they failed is like, so some people said this is better probably as a miniseries, or two movies that are one that
Trilogy.
Yeah, but because of going back and forth as adults and kids, it works better that way. Godfather, part 2 kind of feel to it, but I think they should have just abandoned all the kids' flashback stuff.
Yeah, I think so too.
And just did and developed these adults because we still cared about them. I still connected that those are the same people, but we probably would have cared about them more if we would have developed their lives now.
We're forcing them through the lens of the kids.
I'm trying to even
Just the wrong
remember what
time.
scenes from the past
Oh yeah, like
even develop their characters.
Well, like
they
little,
didn't.
I guess the little fort, their fortress.
but they didn't
or
need to.
whatever.
They developed in the last movie.
Actually, you know what?
mean?
I have
Well,
one
that's what I'm
exception.
saying. Yeah, I agree with you.
Mike, as a kid, remember how we thought he was pretty wooden in the last movie?
Yes.
His like one couple of lines as a kid in this movie, he was a little more loosey goosey, and it felt better. But
Which one's Mike?
the guy?
The main kid?
No, the black guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The Old Spice guy.
yeah.
You didn't know that
That
was
is the
him?
Old Spice guy. Oh my gosh!
Is that actually
Look
him?
at me. Now look at the clown.
The new guy.
Is that actually the Old Spice
believe
guy? Or
it
he
is.
Looks,
Wow.
He looks like him.
If it's not him, then it really looks like him.
He's great.
It does look
No,
like
he did a good job in this movie,
Well,
I gotta say.
that's what fights bad odors is him.
Yeah. I could imagine he was very upset with all the odors in this movie.
The movie really gets jolted once everybody shows, because Mike's the one bringing everybody back, and we get like this quick little
Right.
intro of where
It plays
everybody
out
is.
more or less like the 91
And nobody
movie
lives in
did.
Derry except for at the fair.
Yeah, nobody does anything except
Nobody
go to
does
fairs
anything.
in this movie.
Yeah.
There's nobody who's owning the lot.
I thought the fortune
lodge.
cookie scene was actually really good.
It was. 'Cause they
Yeah,
made-
it was.
I thought that was very
I
good.
think all the scares are all the things that were really good because they thought we're not going to really scare people here.
Right.
We're going to
Kinda creep 'em
We're
out
gonna
a
let our
little.
imagination roll. Think of crazy
Yeah.
things that we can fuck.
That's how the
people's
book
mind.
is too. It doesn't rely on scaring you. It's
No.
more like making you think about what this is crazy.
Yeah, like
what does this mean?
The little baby thing.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh my god! You want to hear my impression of Baby Pennywise? That's what he looks like.
I'm not talking about that part, but I'm talking about the little baby thing in the fortune cookie. That was great.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, the little.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that was-
all those
that
are
was a
very
cool, like-
littered with references to the book and
Really?
the characters' arcs.
crawling bird thing with the
Right.
baby head.
Yeah.
Ugh. I liked that it felt real, that they didn't all just like, we are heroes, we are staying here. Like they all kind of were like, nope, we're out.
They him
kinda
and
wanted
Haw
to-
a little too much for my taste, though.
I kind of liked it. I thought
It was
that
all right.
added a little bit of conflict.
It
Like
was
we're gonna
all
split
right.
up.
Let's split up like every horror movie.
The best scare though came soon after with the kid in the bleachers.
That was
with the
good.
firefly.
That was the best scene
firefly
in the movie.
draws it.
Yeah.
It very much felt like the paper boat going down the sewer.
was very well done.
Similar.
I enjoyed that scene more than anything else in the movie.
One.
I thought that was great. Yeah.
I can just.
Well, and he played on her
Yeah.
her facial kind of
Yeah.
insecurities. and
wants to play with me. Woo-hoo.
So evil.
finally
It was
let
nice.
So evil.
Skarsgård do something. He didn't really do anything other than that. He had a couple other scenes, but I felt like that was the one
There
where
were very few
finally
acting scenes
He
with him.
finally got to do what he did best in the first movie.
Yeah. So what do you think? So basically, they all have to split up and get their tokens.
Yeah,
The ritual artifacts thing, you could just I even wrote at the start, I was like, this is a great idea to kind of reset what each person's fear was and let them develop into it. None of it mattered.
No, it
none of
didn't.
it was all stupid. At the end there
Is
was
that in
like
the book?
yeah. The ritual is a very important part of the book, but they completely change how it works, and they may as well have left it out.
they didn't need it. No.
No.
Well, and at the end
But
they were
that was like 90% of the movie.
It's a big part of the book, but they
at the
didn't
end
do
of
it
the
right.
movie they were like, all right,
If they left it out, they would add a shorter movie.
Yeah.
we got to throw our artifacts into this fire. I was like, wait, what are their artifacts? I had no idea. Following along the story, I had no idea what each of them were going to throw in
One
there.
was a token. One was the boat. Which Pennywise gave him the boat.
Exactly. I have no
That was
idea
kinda
what
dumb.
those
I
mean.
thought he was going to throw the bike in there.
Yeah.
But one was that, you know.
Okay, the one thing that
One was the postcard. One was the they all
the token from the arcade.
Yeah, I don't know.
Metal doesn't burn.
I didn't like the artifacts thing at all. I thought
There's
that was
one little through
wasted
point.
opportunity.
The ritual gives us one good little through point.
It's your mom's.
Okay, remember in the back the little the flashback to Stan at his bar mitzvah, and he starts trash talking the ritual.
Yeah,
that's kind of a foreshadowing to how the ritual doesn't work in the movie. I kind of enjoyed that, but I kind of either they should have done the ritual like it was in the book, which was crazy and trippy, or just left it out. In the way they did the first movie, they probably should have left it out.
They should have improved upon it or something. I don't know.
Anyway, so they do that and they go back and Pennywise scares him, but doesn't kill him. Doesn't kill him.
Well, that's just his MO. He likes to scare you, then let you get away, so you're frightened, and then because he likes you taste better when you're afraid.
It's true, but
that's just how he.
There's something more like if one of them got taken out, then I know that's not in the book, but like one of them got taken out, then.
And you know what? It's okay to not do it like the book. The first movie was a
little more stakes.
The first movie deviated from the book a lot, and it was still great. This movie tried to do a little too much from the book. I think.
So they do that, and then they go. Well, first of all, Pennywise kills that one kid in the Hall of Mirrors.
That's a little bit later, but yeah, that was a great scene too.
That was a late stage addition to the movie.
Slamming his head against
it was great.
That was great James McAvoy acting too.
Did you know that James McAvoy pitched that scene because he felt like his character was useless in the movie?
No way.
Wow.
That's what I read.
Is that true?
Could be one of those like tall tales on the movie set. I don't know.
Well, the problem is like he's supposed to be the main character, but he didn't really feel like the main. It felt more like an ensemble cast, anyway.
Yeah, in the book, he's the only one who does the ritual.
I mean, there were like 3 or 4 scenes right in a row. So you got Bev's. She kind of has a flashback with her dad, but then you go straight to the house with the old lady that's in all the commercials and stuff. I
hated that scene.
I thought that held up. I thought it was fine.
Okay, hold on.
I thought it was good.
When it came out, it was creepy.
Allow me to expound.
I wasn't expecting like giant creep.
That scene was perfect
lady.
Until Giant Grandma.
Really? I liked it.
I was laughing. It was so stupid.
It kind of reminded me of the Blair Witch movie we watched, the recent one.
Yeah, and that wasn't super scary either. I liked it, but
it's like Slender Man.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm a big scary monster. The way they set up the scene earlier, it felt like it ripped the rug out from under it. It almost played it for a laugh.
I guess so.
So she went in the building and she thought there's someone, but the building's been abandoned. Right.
And she didn't realize it until she got out the building.
Right. Yeah. I thought that was a really good scene for her to go back home.
Up until Giant Grandma,
I thought that was very good.
I liked it, but it didn't make sense. Obviously, it makes sense now in the context of it was just an illusion.
Well, she was tracking down her artifact.
Yeah, but I liked it. But like, there was a big gap of time where the grandma wasn't there, and she's having like all this memory.
Right.
And she's like,
memories occur instantaneously. Didn't you know?
It's like slow motion.
I didn't see the dream.
I loved the Richie flashback where.
The Paul Bunyan?
With the Paul Bunyan. I loved when he's sitting there and he's like, I know your secret. And he's like, play truth or dare and stuff. I thought, and then wasn't that where he had the warped face? It was just like,
I cringed at that. That was so stupid.
I loved that.
They played it out in such a weird, it just felt so matter of fact.
What's his secret?
He's gay.
He's gay.
What?
Did you watch the movie?
When they said he was gay.
They don't ever explicitly say it.
Because he likes the one guy that he plays arcade with. And then once he kind of, the guy with him starts to realize it, he starts to back away.
Oh, man, he wants to play another round of Street Fighter? Must be gay.
Yeah.
He's like, I saw the way you looked at me when I selected Chun-Li. You didn't look at those thighs.
Yeah.
And then the next one was the Georgie one, was the Georgie flashback with Bill. I don't really remember it super well, actually.
Let me get some feelings out here. They played it out in a checklist fashion, and I started to check out mentally. When you're
this
aware,
is that middle of the movie you're talking
when
about.
When the viewer is aware that they have to run down a checklist, you done something wrong.
Yeah.
It needs to feel more organic.
Yes.
See, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was too checklist.
Yes, it was.
I liked
Get your token.
maybe
Person finds token, Pennywise scares him.
but like
Yeah.
each one, I thought I liked Eddie's a lot. That was the next one. I loved
It didn't
the
do
one
anything.
with his mom. I liked it.
It was so
It was
extraneous.
funny.
And he abandons his mom.
It was funny. So people are like thinking, like, I cracked up really loud when the vomit happened with
Yeah.
the music.
Oh yeah,
When the leper
Just
thing.
call me Angel.
That the one thing that scene did
really
was set
funny.
up
Yeah, I
that
thought so
if you attack the monster without fear,
Yeah.
you can make him shrink. That was the one thing that scene did. Otherwise, it just felt extraneous to me. It was fine.
But they did that in the first one.
Exactly. That's
But
I
they're,
guess the
like,
bigger point. It feels like
we'll get there. My biggest complaint when we get to that that part.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they find their tokens. Meet up in the library.
what we haven't talked about is that the bully Bowers just floating
Bowers.
in the background.
We can
doing
ignore him
whatever
because he doesn't do
bullshit.
I don't know, but like
then
when
he stabs
oh,
Eddie.
That's
what we just
that was
got
like,
to.
Oh
here.
my gosh.
That was one of my better laughs in the movie. Is after they pull the knife out. He's like, "Does this look bad?" And there's blood running down him.
His blood comes out his mouth. Blah. Is that bad?
Does this look bad?
I don't know.
That was funny.
They just spent way too much time. If you were going to cut out
but he
anything,
didn't
that's what
make
you
any
cut
sense.
out.
Was there a zombie, one of his bully friends?
Yeah, that was one of the kids that the kid that got killed in the sewer.
Yeah.
Sewer. But did he ever come back? After,
Only as
after
that
being
zombie.
his like Uber driver.
No.
It's like,
They don't really
pick him up at the
explain-
Insane Drive.
Like it feels like Pennywise has no rules. Like his powers.
In this movie, he has
in
less
this
rules.
in this movie, it feels all over the place. It's
Allow me to
he's
explain
kind of a
that.
dumb villain. He could have killed anybody whenever he wants to. He's
Well-
omnipresent, right?
Listen, allow me to frame it the way the book does. Pennywise,
Why can't he leave Derry? If he's an
why
eater of the
can't
world?
you stop being beautiful? In the book, Pennywise knows he's not perfectly powerful. He knows he has limits, and he needs Bowers to help him kill the kids because he can't accomplish everything on his own.
Really?
And he uses Bowers to try to take him out because he's afraid. And this movie completely...
Pennywise is afraid
Yes.
of what?
He made the kids made him feel fear in the first one, so he knows that they're going to give him trouble. Remember?
So how do they explain that in the book?
In very many words.
But like no, but I'm saying like how do they show that in the book? How could you show
Pennywise
that?
actually talks to Henry in the book, and he explains to him that he needs him. Like I don't know what else to say.
So what?
it's more outspoken.
And then
yeah.
this is where the cosmic turtle comes in.
Yeah, but again, that's another thing this movie doesn't need.
No, this movie absolutely did
Well,
not. Need
they
a
made
cosmic
the
turtle.
cosmic turtle has a name,
Maturin.
Maturin, which is what the drug he drugged him with.
Yeah, Mike gave him the Maturin root.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I remember the root. I don't remember the.
Yeah.
Oh, for the when he got the flashback to the
So
ritual.
it's kind of
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of like
okay.
the
It's a good thing he didn't trip out and like think of something else. It's a good thing he thought directly of Pennywise. But yeah, they could have cut Henry out of this movie and not suffered because he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't, and it also didn't make sense that it
Which
didn't
one's
feel
Henry?
like he was being used as a minion.
No, he was just doing his thing.
So, which in the first movie, it very much felt like they were his
Yeah.
playthings, and then
Well,
this is
yeah.
just like random.
it's just fluff.
Yeah.
It was fluff.
Okay, so we're kind of hitting the third act at the very end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they go and the library, but McAvoy is like, I gotta go to the house, and they all.
To be fair, they did that in the first movie. It's an echo.
They did. It is an echo, but they go in there and they get split up again with a couple of them.
They do they do the doors again.
Yeah.
and it's like, what are you?
But
of all the things, ugh, jeez.
Yeah,
but-
that could have gone.
But then
away.
they make a blatant. So what was the kid that? So we forgot one of the guys kills himself before he comes.
That's another
Stan,
thing that
yeah.
doesn't really play through.
Yeah, but he's.
I kind of disagree with that.
Yeah.
I thought that was okay.
But-
I thought they kind of referenced that enough times.
They did, but he is in the fridge as a kid, and he comes out as
Yeah,
a head.
I love that.
And they make
I
a
like
blatant reference, which is kind of cool, I
Yeah.
think, to the thing.
Yeah, it was pretty
Carpenter's The
effective.
Thing.
I thought it was good.
And
Did
it,
you realize that when you watched it?
no,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. I
You didn't realize that at all?
No. I was.
What kind of filmmaker are you?
It's
Yeah,
it's
critic.
tone appropriate. The thing is it's kind of scary, and the
was cool.
monster in the book is very
That's
much
true.
like
And
a
we
spider.
also forgot about the bad cameo real quick of
Stephen King.
Stephen King. Yeah,
It wasn't bad.
I mean, it's just like,
Yeah,
all right, kid, you can afford it.
The ending.
it's my bike now.
Can't write an ending.
Have you guys ever seen Freak Show? I was in that one too.
Yep, I did a remake of The Shining.
It sucked.
Anyway, so they go and they get in the house.
Quite frank, I don't remember the
Can we
the
talk about this-
climax of the movie. I don't really,
So-
other than like giant spider. I don't.
Hold on.
All of it's just
Well,
kind of
let's talk about the
whatever.
Thing reference.
What about it?
So the Stanley head
So you
spider.
got it. You got the Thing. All you were missing was Lurch.
Ha!
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
I like that.
Yeah, I would have
Lurch.
cut. I would have loved to be in the editing room for this, so I could have done some fat trimming. Perfect.
Oh, look, it's Cousin It.
Matt, where were we?
Georgie.
He just shakes his head. Like his
That's what he looks like
through the
underneath.
hair. Yeah,
It's Cousin It. That'd be kind of cool. Cool thing.
that would be a good.
He does do
good
that in the
sketch,
first
yeah.
movie in that slideshow.
That's 3 It's.
Very nice. Very nice. Hold on, I have a laugh for that.
What? I guess what do you guys remember from the ending at all? Like I
So the giant. Okay, so
I thought
one of the biggest.
none of the end was good.
I liked it. I actually liked it. I thought the some people didn't like the giant spider. So the problem with the giant spider in the original one is like that's it.
Yeah.
You know, Ray Harryhausen can't get it up anymore.
Yeah.
You know. But I actually kind of liked it. They said we'll make the giant spider, but keep him a clown. I kind of liked it.
That is not the biggest of this movie's sins. I was all right with it.
I liked it.
Oh, really? I hated it.
I thought it was interesting looking.
I thought this was the climax to like finally let Bill Skarsgård do like play
Wasn't it-
Pennywise for a minute.
It wasn't as cool.
like,
It wasn't as cool
no.
as the
I
dancing
thought they
clown.
would do like he would try and pick them off one by one, or I don't know. Like he'd be a huge version of himself. Instead, it was the spider. And I obviously don't. I don't think I've seen the original. I definitely have not seen the original's ending, so I didn't know it was going to be a big spider.
Well, they're all in like
But-
a Star Trek style TV series cave.
Right. It's
Really?
the spider thing is a tough line to ride because
I
as
didn't
a
like
lover
it.
of the book, the giant spider thing is done very well in the book, and I'm kind of attached to it. But if you're cutting out all the cosmic stuff, you might need to cut out the giant spider.
So tell us about the book. Why the spiders?
There is not enough time.
Just no. Just do it. There's plenty of time.
No.
Do it
It's
in
a
3.
big spider where we're not supposed to be able to kind of make sense of
Comprehend
it.
it.
It's like Cthulhu, and directly showing it in a movie is not quite the same. You're supposed to go crazy just by looking at it.
But they did enough in the first movie where he kind of showed these. Remember,
They kind of showed it off a little
blended
bit.
it.
Yeah.
like that's the version. And I know you got to max it out for this.
So is that
for
his,
this
is
one,
that
but
his truest form, or is this the Deadlights' his truest form?
The Deadlights is what he is.
Okay.
The spider, the book describes it as the closest thing our minds can come to seeing him.
yeah, I don't know.
This movie doesn't really
I get
treat it
that
that
it's in
way.
the source material, but yeah,
Writers-
it was a little
writers
bit
are such
disappointing.
cop-outs.
A little disappointing to me.
They're trying to please as many people as possible and didn't quite work.
Yeah.
Writers like I can't visibly describe this, so I'm going to describe it in a feeling.
Well, I'd say that's lazy on Mr. Lovecraft's part, actually. Wow, so unimaginable, so scary.
Anything else about this
Couple
movie we haven't even
proposals.
got to yet?
The ending wasn't the best, but I enjoyed how they were all trapped in their own little pockets of their mind during the fight, and like how Ben and Bev had to like reach out to each other. That was pretty effective, you know. And then it was pretty weak until they started like shouting down the clown and made
Yeah.
him turn small. I actually
It's
really
like-
liked that.
yeah,
I was
I
like,
did-
this
I
is
liked-
really hard to do from the book, but they did an admirable job.
I liked
there.
the effect they did for him.
Yeah.
where
yeah,
it
the
just-
tiny baby clown
and
melting.
and then it was in his last little, and he just didn't.
Did
have
you
it-
see the part where Richie just rips off one of the tentacles? That was brutal. That was pretty cool. So it was pretty rocky, and then when they got to that part, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
pretty good.
But it's the same thing that they did in the first one.
Right.
It's like, why didn't they figure that out?
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
But how this time they kill him and they didn't kill him in the first one?
Because reasons.
Because they were adults. And adults
Right.
kill people.
Because they weren't ready to confront their fears completely. It's poetic metaphor. Are you following?
But they didn't confront their fears.
Yes, they did.
Who? No, they didn't. No one confronted.
Yeah, they did. They directly confronted him and were not afraid anymore.
They confronted him. They didn't confront their
He
fears.
is the manifestation of their fears.
Yes.
But
He brings their thoughts to life.
did Richie? Let's just pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Did Richie come to like feel comfortable talking about his sexuality at the end of the movie?
He carved his name in the wood thing.
Secretly by himself.
Oh man,
like is that?
That's what I get.
But the idea is that he's not ashamed of it anymore.
Who was the other person?
He doesn't need to come out to his parents at Thanksgiving or anything.
I'm not. I thought he would say it to his friends, or I don't
Who
know.
was the other
Like,
person that he loved?
Eddie.
oh, is that true? I didn't follow that.
R plus E.
I didn't.
And he was the one who was the most sad when Eddie was dying.
That's very okay. All right.
How can I be the most?
Because I just thought it was.
you know the
This
book
is not in the book at all.
I thought it was
Okay,
because he was so
okay.
mean to him because they're just buddies, But
It was an interesting addition that kind of did some stuff.
I thought
not in the book at all.
I didn't track that it was Eddie. I didn't track that.
It
at
was
all.
totally
I thought they were
Eddie. He was
just
gay
friends.
for Eddie.
Okay. Anyway.
I don't know if Eddie reciprocated though.
No, clearly. Okay. What else? Anything else, or should we rate the movie?
Let me. I got a couple
don't
of
think
notes
you're
here.
him.
Let me pull. You know what? I have one big problem. They missed an opportunity to do some through work. In the first movie, Ben is the historian. And then they just switch it to
Yes.
Mike in this movie. And Mike was useless in the first movie. He should have been the historian from the start.
is that in the book though?
Well, Ben is definitely not a historian in the first in the book
Then why did they do that?
because they wanted to.
Dumb.
They should have given it to Mike as a kid to give him more to do because he was pretty flat in that movie.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't have
Give
been
it
so
to Mike.
jarring.
He'll eat anything.
Let's see. Did you guys catch any of the cool little Easter eggs?
Well, I caught the.
There were lots of good ones.
What else? Okay. So the director, at the very beginning that comes in. Do you know that it was Peter Bogdanovich?
Yeah, he's a famous director.
Yeah, he did like Paper Moon, which is a movie we should review. It's a really good movie. And what's funny is he was really good friends with Orson Welles towards the later part of Orson Welles' life. Lived at his home for a while. And he has all these recordings you can listen to online of him and Orson Welles just talking and talking about movies and stuff. It's awesome. He also said that Orson Welles loved fish sticks and ate all his fish sticks. Yes.
Do you think he liked them
He
frozen?
said, they said I think he did eat them frozen. Like he loved fish sticks.
Okay,
Orson Welles.
we're pressed
Yeah.
for time, but there's a couple of Easter eggs I found that I bet no one else did.
What is it?
Okay, when Ben's doing his conference call with the building stuff, one of the executives in that boardroom is the guy who played Ben in the '90s miniseries.
Oh yeah. Actually, I heard about that one. Yeah.
Continue.
I got a better one. It's not very important, but I thought it was cool. I think I need to see the movie again, but I'm fairly certain that the skateboard kid, his skateboard had the carpet outside of the room 237 pattern on it.
Oh.
That's like it doesn't really do
And
anything.
then there's
but
like
it's
Here's
neat.
Johnny reference.
Yeah.
That was
That was good. That was good. Let's see.
And is the blood kind of like the coming in the stalls, kind of like Shining reference to the elevator?
More or less. I mean, I don't think it's a direct reference.
So if what's his name was not didn't have a stroke and was paralyzed, I bet he would have made a cameo. He kind of made a cameo.
You mean Tim Curry,
Tim Curry? Yeah.
the man
That
himself?
would have been cool. Maybe he turned into.
That would have been cool.
If he was still able to act, he'd probably be
transforms
He'd be a
into-
manifestation
that'd
at
be
one
sweet.
point with him. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool.
Before we finish, I want to compliment Sandwich something. One more good thing, and then my big problem. Pennywise was really good, as always.
Yeah.
His little scenes where he gets to act, those are all very good. Mm-hmm. You know what a problem is? At the end. Okay, I'm not a big book to movie needs to be like the book sort of person, but in the book, when they finally defeat him, a big storm causes the whole town to flood and everything gets wrecked. It's very metaphorical for how the curse is like gone.
Washed away.
And in this movie, it's like everything's fine.
No, it's interesting.
It was very cathartic in the book, and I think they missed an opportunity.
Reminds me of the scene in Ben-Hur when the rain comes.
When the clown died and the whole town flooded.
It's true. And all Rome fell. That was the end of Rome.
Yeah.
No, but when his mom and sister has leprosy and the water comes in and kind of the metaphor washes it away. Can we talk about one last thing at the end that was like, this is stupid.
Yeah, go for it.
This is one stupid thing I just didn't like. Hurry, it's gonna blow, it's gonna blow, it's gonna blow. And it's like, oh, we're outside the house now.
Yeah.
Couldn't you have gone out the other tunnels that were closer to the... It didn't make any sense.
I think that's a little more of a gripe than I would.
Well, just it's just like all this, and like, but the worst part about it was, my, what was the other guy that died in there?
Eddie.
Eddie was like, I can't think of their names. There's too many names. There's no Ben.
Richie wanted to get his body out.
But he wanted to go back. But it's like, dude, that could have happened earlier when you were coming out because that's way down in the depths of the earth. You know,
Ben, have you ever been distraught before?
Never.
Not in my life.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I've had no problems.
No problems whatsoever. I'm impressed.
That was a good scene. All right, let's rate the movie.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Matt, you go first.
I give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
So I'd say it's worth seeing. I wouldn't say it's. I'd have to think hard about what I would give the first one. I'm thinking like an 8. But this is worth seeing. I actually didn't think the runtime didn't bother me at all.
No, I didn't either. But I had to use the bathroom really bad.
I was.
That's affecting the score.
It was moving for me. It
my seat.
moved along at a pretty brisk pace, and the scares were still really good. The scenes with Pennywise were really good, as we've kind of talked about. I wish they did more with the characters as adults and using that for new opportunities and how that could play through a little bit better. So
okay,
but it was still. I'd say it's worth seeing.
Yeah,
I give it a 6.
6.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Perfect.
First one 8.
First one 8. Yeah.
I give it a 6 and 8.
How concise of you.
Yes.
Okay. I too give it a 6. The way I describe it is there's a lot of really cool little moments in the movie,
Yes.
but they never string together very well. The pacing just felt weird to me.
Yeah.
It felt very hack and slash in the editing room.
It felt very Harry Potter, late Harry Potter books.
Overly long and bloated?
Yeah, it's like, come on, you had a structure going.
Yeah, they could have trimmed some fat. And I have a gripe with modern horror.
What's your gripe?
Why does the camera have to jerk around when people are being attacked? And why does there have to be like loud noises to indicate this is the time to be scared? I hate that.
I think it's more like big studio horror.
Yeah, I hate that. Because in the first movie, one of the most effective things in that entire movie is when he comes out of the refrigerator as the contortion act thing. There's no huge noises, and the camera stays pretty still, and it was so effective. I love that scene. Perfect.
I think slow burns are scarier than...
I know, they are.
I think
They
they
should
are.
have done that more in this movie.
But the problem is the audience will get bored.
Are you saying that we're too high IQ?
No. I think it's the opposite.
You mean it's the smart choice to
I think-
prefer stupid
I think
horror?
technology has made us stupider. So I think they just went, oh, we know this is the marvel of...
Well, this didn't test well with audiences.
Probably didn't.
Well,
I still enjoyed it.
I would
I laughed
since you
though.
guys were
I actually
rating the
laughed
original.
more than I got scared.
Right, me too. Since you guys were rating the original, I would also give the original an 8. That one was so great.
You're
It
so
was
great.
really good.
Oh, can I one special shout out? They left in my favorite line from the miniseries where Pennywise is like, "Kiss me, fat boy."
Yeah.
That's not in the book, but it's perfect.
They should have kept the
great.
Prince Albert in the can line.
Yeah, they should have.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of,
You better what about that?
we're not going to do modern horror, but next week we're going to do.
We're not sure yet.
We're not sure.
We'll keep it open.
Keep it open.
All right, we'll keep it open.
We're
Keep it open.
possibly
I thought-
doing The Thing next week.
And then we're doing that.
What's analyze it?
There's
Analyze
it.
that. Analyze this.
Yes. The it thing and that.
and then noun.
Yes.
Yes. But spooky. I almost said spooky shark. I guess spooky sharks is coming.
Yeah, that's coming.
But Spook of Madness 3 is only a few weeks away.
Tell people
so-
what Spooky Sharks is.
Oh, there's a game called PT that we're
No,
gonna
no,
play.
no. Tell people who don't even know anything about us. What is Spooky Sharks to the people?
Oh,
You have another channel.
we have a sister channel called The Game Sharks, which has been dormant for a year since the last Spooky Sharks.
27 years. 20,
Yeah.
27
20,
Coming back to
29
murder
years.
some people.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
Spooky Sharks is
you for so long.
Spooky Sharks is the same thing, but in October, where it's spooky. Pretty succinct, right?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
There you go. So check out that channel. The channel's called Game Sharks.
Yeah, the Game
The
Sharks.
Game Sharks.
Yeah, very important.
It's if you follow any of our pages, the links with
They'll
them
be there.
is with it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So lots of once October comes, we've got a lot of stuff coming.
All month long.
Yeah. All right. Till next week.
Let's. I know how to do this.
All right.
Georgie.